What goes on, guys? We're back at it again, but with a little bit different style of a video today. Instead of doing a review, I'm going to do my first top 10 video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my picks for the top 10 figures of 2021 so far. We're a little over halfway through the year now. Probably a little bit over halfway through the year, but I thought I'd go ahead and show off some figures that I thought need some recognition as of right now. This list is my opinion, what I really enjoy, and out of the figures that I own. I'm not going to pick a figure that is probably great, but I don't own. I'm only going to do things out of my personal collection and things that I have fiddled with and played with and really find something amazing out of. I'm going to start off with some honorable mentions. I don't have them with me, and I'm going to go through and record like the actual top 10 figures, but as for honorable mentions, I'd like to mention the Snyder Cut Batman. That is a fantastic figure. There have been things that have come out other than that that are a little bit better, that just kind of weaned it out, but that one definitely needs a recommendation and a notice. The Falcon and Winter Soldier, that is a great figure. I really like that. The pinless tech works great on a character like Winter Soldier, so I really enjoyed that. Homelander from Neca, that is a great figure. I'm really happy with that. You can kind of see it here. The Carnotaurus, the Super Colossal Carnotaurus by Mattel, awesome figure. It's probably my favorite one out of the Mattel Super Colossal figures now. That one's really good. Speaking of Jurassic Park, Mattel, I just did a review of him. The John Hammond, that one's great. The Bad Batch figures, all three of them that I have so far are great. Still looking for tech, but they're awesome. But yeah, so without further ado, let's go hop into the top 10. So starting off at number 10 is the Marvel Legends, the Falcon and Winter Soldier Disney Plus series, Build-A-Wing or whatever you want to call it, Captain America, the Sam Wilson version, the Falcon Cap, whatever you want to call him. This is awesome. Even the figure on its own without the wings, I think is beautiful. The costume in that show was phenomenal, in my opinion, phenomenal. When he bursts through the window, when you first see him, I was freaking out, geeking so hard. I'm a huge Captain America fan, and anything Captain America, you know Cap had to make the list a little bit. So this figure's awesome. The biggest complaint that I have with him is these are very loose on him, and they pivot a lot instead of like locking in place. I would have liked a lock mechanism on it, but you know, I understand why they didn't do that as well. It gives more rotation, and I'm not too big on the way they did Red Wing, but again, it could be a lot worse, and for the most part, I think this figure's awesome. So starting off at number 10 with not a shabby start at all is the Falcon Cap from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Coming in at number 9 is the first and only Star Wars Black Series on this list, the Black Series 50th Lucasfilm Animation Anniversary, whatever you want to call it, Jackson. The biggest thing for this is I never thought we'd get a figure of this character, which is the same case for another figure that I got coming up here, but I never thought we'd have a Jackson. I mentioned it in my review of him. There's actually a review of him up on the channel, but I mentioned it in that video that me and my friend were talking about characters we'd want to see, and we said Jackson, and we were like, Jackson would never happen. Boom, 2 weeks later, they revealed Jackson. It's so awesome. The figure turned out great. I love the posability on this guy. I think it works great for him. The head sculpt to me is amazing. I think it works so well for him. I like the design that they did. I like that they didn't do that cartoony version. I like that they picked the Alex Ross type style and go with the more realistic look. Because if you look up Jackson, you will see an image that is this exact head sculpt. Like, you'll just see it. But it's so awesome. I'm so happy that they decided to make him, and have it turn out as good as it did. But yeah, so coming in at number 9 is the Star Wars Black Series, Jackson. Coming in at number 8 is the one, the only, the Ghost Who Walks, the Phantom. I cannot believe that I actually have a Phantom in my collection. I've always wanted one because I like those original, like, weird like folklore type characters from like the old comic books. I mean, he's older than Superman. Like, he predates Superman. So like, I love that. I like that movie. I forget who played the Phantom, but I know it's not that good of a movie. But I remember watching that when I was a kid, and like, that's what I got introduced to the Phantom as. So I like that movie. And that made me want a figure of the Phantom. So to get a comic book version of the Phantom is just something that I've always wanted, and something that I'm so happy to have. And of course, Neca kills it, as they always do. The paint shading on this guy is amazing. I think the posability is pretty good. You know, with Neca, you got to be a little bit careful with their stiff joints, but for the most part, I didn't have any issues with him or any of the Defenders of the Earth, to be completely honest. I know they're doing like an actual comic book version of him coming up. I'm probably going to skip that because I'm good with what I have here, but it is really cool to see, and I'm happy that the Phantom is back on the shelf. But yeah, this is an awesome figure to have, and for any comic book fan, like just in general, he's a character that I feel like you gotta have. It turned out great. Neca did a great job with this guy. So at number 8, we have Neca's Defenders of the Earth, the Phantom. At number 7, we have a member of the 7. Might have done that on purpose. We have Starlight. I can't get over how awesome this is, and to finally be able to put together a boys display is so awesome. I'm a huge fan of that show. I've read the entire comic book series. It from page to cover, so good, and the show is just as good. Maybe even one of these rare cases where the show is better than the original source material. I know that's a bold statement, but coming from somebody who's fully indulged in both, the show is fantastic. So to have action figure representations of those characters is something that I am so all in for. I know they just revealed that they're going to be doing A-Train and Black Noir. Give me the 7, give me the boys, give me everybody. Everybody, I'm so down for it. And this Starlight turned out amazing. I love the cape on this. Like, it looks so nice. That gold is so good. A bendy wire would have been nice, kind of like how they did with Ming, but you know, I'm not complaining about it. I think this head sculpt looks just like the actress. Her name is slipping my mind. I know she was in Jessica Jones as well, but I think this head sculpt is stellar. Like, it looks just like her, and I love the gold eyes. And there's an option for without the light up eyes, but I like this one better. The hands are great. I think the articulation on this figure works really well for a female figure, even considering the big dress. I think it works for her. Yeah, I'm so happy to be able to put a good boys display together. Like I said, Homelander was a runner-up, but I think the head sculpt kind of held that figure back. I think this looks just like the actress, but that head sculpt on Homelander didn't exactly scream Anthony Starr to me, but it's not terrible, and Homelander's awesome. That's why I wanted to mention it, but out of the two, I think Starlight is way better. That's why I put her at number 7 on my list. Sticking with Neca still, this is the last it's actually not even the last Neca figure on the list, but sticking with Neca for the 3rd time in a row, we have number 6, which is the Back to the Future Doc Brown. I was not a huge Back to the Future fan. I watched it when I was like younger, and I was like, oh, all right, this movie's okay. And then I rewatched it with my girlfriend recently. Freaking love it. The trilogy's great. Where we got so into it. And it was just about the time when they were releasing the figures. So this is actually a birthday gift from my girlfriend, so shout out to her. And I'm so happy to have it. This head sculpt, and please fight me in the comments about this, because I will argue with you, is the best 6-inch or 7-inch scale head sculpt of a live actor that I have ever seen on a retail figure. Like, that looks just like him. Just like him. Again, the actor's name is slipping my mind. It'll probably come to me while I'm recording something else. But it looks just like him. I cannot believe how good this head sculpt is. The expression is perfect for him. The face paint looks great. It's so good. And, you know, the articulation doesn't need to be much. He's an old man. I think the rest of the figure looks good. The amount of accessories that he came with. I think this figure is freaking perfect for what it is. Perfect for what it is. So I'm very happy to have him. That's why I put him at number 6, the NECA Doc Brown. Coming in halfway through the video at number 5, we have the DC Multiverse, the Suicide Squad Polka Dot Man by McFarlane Toys. This thing is something, like I said about Jackson, something I never thought I'd own. Like, the fact that I have a Polka Dot Man in my collection and that it's that good, like that it turned out this good, is awesome. Like, it is something I never thought I'd be able to say. The accessory is great in my opinion. I love these kinds of accessories, like character-specific accessories. I think the goggles are really well done. I think it works for comic or movie, in my opinion. Like, sure, maybe for comic a little bit more white, like I said in my review. I do have a review up of him on the channel as well, so please go check that out if you get a second. But it's perfect for what it is. I love it. I really, really do. And at the time of this recording, Suicide Squad has not come out. It comes out like next week, I believe. And I already pre-ordered my tickets. So I'm super excited for this movie. And this figure turned out great. I'm so happy to have Polka Dot Man on the shelf. I love getting different characters on there. And this figure turned out great. Todd really knocked it out of the park with this one. So coming in at number 5 on the halfway point of the video, we have the DC Multiverse, the Suicide Squad Polka Dot Man. Coming in at a big ol' number 4, we have the Mattel Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse Deluxe Battle Cat. This figure's awesome. Like, he is so much better than the Origins one, in my opinion. Like, the articulation, the paint, and the sculpt on this guy is phenomenal. Especially, like I said, especially the articulation. I cannot get over these ball joints in here and how much posability it allows for this figure to have. I freaking love it. I actually like the figures more than I like the show. Don't get me started on that show, because I have a lot of qualms with that show. I don't hate it as much as everybody else does, but it could have used another rewrite or so. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the figure. But I love this figure. It is so awesome to me. I like the best thing about Revelation to me was the character redesigns for the most part. I think they look awesome. I think he looked great. He was barely in the show. Spoiler alert, he was barely in the show. But I'm happy that we got this cool-ass figure from it. I would love to see a repaint with Panther. That would be freaking awesome, because I like purple. Purple's my favorite color, so Panther always appealed to me a little bit more than Battle Cat from a design standpoint. But this is awesome. I love, like I said, the posability is amazing on this. I think he's my favorite Masterverse figure. I mean, sure, he's a deluxe, so you should probably expect more from him, but I mean, him and Evelyn were fantastic, but if I had to pick between the two of them, definitely this Battle Cat. So coming in at number 4, at a whopping number 4, may I add, is the Mattel Masterverse Masters of the Universe Revelations Battle Cat. Now we're in the top 3, and coming at number 3 is Gorilla Grodd from the Injustice 2 video game. Again, this is one of those figures that I think works as a comic book Grodd. It looks like Grodd when he's king of Gorilla City. I'm totally down for it. This figure is awesome. It was a pain in the ass to get a hold of when it was originally coming out, because I'm impatient as hell. So when I see like one person, I'm located in Philadelphia. So when I see somebody in California post, "Oh, hitting targets now," my dumb ass goes out and tries to get them all, like as soon as possible without waiting. And it drives me nuts. But I was able to get a hold of him thanks to a buddy of mine, and I'm so happy that I did. I think the articulation is awesome on this guy. The posability on the body is really nice. Oh, I just popped his head out. The posability on his body and neck is really nice. His arms are a little bit limited, but it's okay to me. I'm fine with it. The sculpt is immaculate on this guy. And I love the paint like on his head, in his mouth. I love that paint. The sculpt work all on the armor is so good. I wish I had my channel when these figures were coming out. All these figures, because I would have loved to do reviews of all of them. If you're interested in seeing any reviews of these, feel free to let me know. But yeah, this Gorilla Grodd is so awesome to me, and I'm so happy to have it. He sits with my DC villains. I love the big monkey belly. It's just awesome. So coming in at number 3 is a well-deserved Gorilla Grodd from the DC Multiverse. Coming in at number 2 is probably the biggest figure here, even with the Battle Cat, is the Diamond Select Rampaging Hulk. This thing is a work of art. I don't say that lightly, but this thing is a work of art. The paint work on this is amazing. I love the shading on this. The matte finish on the body and the little bit more satin on the pants complements each other so well. There's a different finish on the hair, but you get paint variation in the hair. The articulation is so good on this Hulk, like just as good, if not a little bit better than the Marvel Legends one. I think the head sculpt, a lot of people complain about the head sculpt. I like it. It's like a savage Hulk. Like, he's just so big for the camera, it's hard to get in there. But I love that head sculpt. I love the sculpt in general on this figure. He doesn't have baby feet like the Marvel Legends one does. This figure is so good. It's one of those rare figures that I got that I really didn't need in my collection, because I have the 80th anniversary one, and that is the Hulk that I still have on my big Marvel Legends display as my main Hulk. But I have like a little subsection of like random Marvel characters and Marvel items that I like, and that's where I put him. He's so good that I had to put him on there. I love this thing. There's wash and dry brush and just, oh my God, this thing is so good. If you don't have this Hulk and you're a Marvel collector, go get it. It is awesome. It is so worth it. And I think he's going to be one of those Diamond Select figures that once they're sold out, they become incredibly expensive. So if you get the chance to get him for retail, I highly suggest it. This thing is so awesome. So coming in at number 2 is the Diamond Select Rampaging Hulk. Now you're probably wondering, what could beat the Rampaging Hulk after I just praised it to no end? This is a pretty high intense level list. But number 1 was a no-brainer for me. Let's just get right to it. At number 1, we have the Neca Toys Universal Monsters Frankenstein. This might be kind of a shock to some people. Like, huh? You're putting that over all these other figures? Hell yeah, I am. Have you guys seen this thing? This thing is amazing. Amazing. It is a perfect, and I mean perfect, representation of the Boris Karloff Frankenstein in action figure form. I absolutely love this thing. I've wishlist NECA to do Universal Monsters for probably like 2 years now. I'm a huge fan of the Universal Monsters. I don't do many horror stuff at all. In fact, other than the Universal Monsters, I don't have a single... Well, actually, other than this, I don't have any other horror figures. Like, it's just not something I'm into, not something I ever was and never will be. But Universal Monsters, Frankenstein is my favorite out of the Universal Monsters. It's my favorite book of all time. I'm a big reader, and Frankenstein by Mary Shelley is a phenomenal book, and definitely highly recommend that if you haven't gotten a chance to read that. But going back to the figure, NECA hit it out of the ballpark so far with this figure that I don't even know where the ball is anymore. It's so good. The sculpt, the paint, and the articulation on this thing works so well with one another. The accessories that he came with, I love it so much. Like, look at that head articulation. It looks great in every position. The scar that transfers from the neck to the head on all 3 of the heads. It's so good. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this figure. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to be doing a top 10 of 2021 at the end of the year. And things might change on that video. But there's only one figure that I think might be able to beat this, which I won't spoil it yet until that video. But there's a big chance that this guy will be staying at number 1. Because it's just perfect for me. It's perfect. But number 1, without a doubt in my mind, is the NECA Toys Universal Monsters Frankenstein. I absolutely love it. Go get yourself one if you haven't already. So yeah, so far 2021 for action figures has been the best year of my life. This thing is these figures are so good, and with everything that's being revealed and upcoming, it's amazing to me that these figures, despite how good they are, definitely have a chance of being debunked off. Like, just some upcoming figures that I know are going to be a big hit for me are the deluxe McFarlane Toys Violator, the Target exclusive Gunslinger Spawn, the NECA Toys Gargoyles Goliath. Oh my God, I'm so excited for that. The Zombie Captain America from What If, the Peggy Carter from What If from Marvel Legends, The Star Wars Black Series Tech, I think, looks great. The Star Wars Black Series Rancor, that'll probably be revealed. I mean, that's not going to be coming out. Galactus, I know that's not really going to be coming out this year neither, but those are amazing. The McFarlane toys, Etrigan the Demon, Lobo looks great. Like, there's so... Man-at-Arms looks fantastic. There's so much good stuff coming out, and it's an amazing time to be an action figure collector, unless you are the said action figure collector's wallet. But I think that's all I got for today. Please leave in the comments your top 10. I would love to hear what you guys think. Like I said, it's a perfect time to love toys right now. And I love to hear everybody's different opinions. Again, this is my opinion, my top 10 for the year so far. Everybody's is going to be different. Mine's probably going to be different by the end of the year. Like, definitely some of these figures that I mentioned here will not be on the top 10 at the end of the year. I'm not sure which ones, and I'm not sure how many will be taken off, but yeah. So, without further ado, I think that's all I got for today. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I've been growing a lot recently, and I want to keep making these videos, so do your brother a favor and help him out. These videos are a lot of fun. I plan on doing a collection tour video in the very near future, so please stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, that's all I got. See you in the next one. Peace.